Good morning, King Philip Middle School students and staff. Today is Friday, June 5th, 2020, and you are with the KP administrative team. Of course, I'm Miss Wright.
Good morning, it's Mr. Gussie and
Mr. Kotler. Good morning.
All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Let's, here we go. The music. All right, Mr. Gussie.
So last week I asked any students who were willing to submit a video or even come say the Pledge of Allegiance near a flag in my front yard here. I live in West Hartford. We're welcome to. Nobody volunteered, and that's okay. That's all right. I'm going to just pick somebody who I see walking down the street.
To do it,
I'll get a video of a student. So
all right.
I do invite anyone who's willing to please rise, and I invite you to say the Pledge of Allegiance with us. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one
nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
With liberty and justice for all.
Take a moment of silence. Thank you. And we also have some birthdays today. So this is some good news here. Johnny B.A., happy birthday. Valerie C.,
happy
birthday. And Lexi D., happy birthday on today, June 5th.
And this weekend's birthdays are
Hannah K.
K. Yep.
Sophia S. and Julia S. Those are all tomorrow. And coming up on Sunday, Simon L. and Braden N. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, everyone.
So June is so many things, as you can see, but I think I'll take a line from Juliana as she's been doing them and just highlight a few. So I'm going to go with it's National Caribbean American Month, African American Music Appreciation Month, National Cooking Month. Oh Lord, we've been doing a lot of cooking. National Give a Bunch of Balloons Month, National DJ Month. A lot of DJs going live on Instagram and Facebook. National Iced Tea Month. You know, you like that, Mr. Kotler?
I do.
And National Papaya Month. The best papaya I've ever had was when I lived abroad in Costa Rica. Delicious papaya.
So that kind of goes with National Caribbean Month, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Get some Caribbean food.
If you're in the Caribbean. Today is National Donut Day. Does that mean there's free donuts somewhere?
I don't know, but I like that day also with my
Usually I thought you knew that, Mr. Kotler, like maybe Dunkin' Donuts has a free donut. I got to find it. I need a free donut. National Donut Day, National Veggie Burger Day, National Gingerbread Day. I would think that would be in like December, but okay.
That would make more sense. Yeah, for sure.
And World Environment Day.
So I think like Veggie Burger Day kind of goes with World Environment Day, you know, because it's a little more environmentally friendly to eat a veggie burger.
There you go.
Beef burger.
Now, June is Pride Month as well. And given, I think it's important to note, given what we've been talking about in terms of racial inequality and social justice, I want to put here as a companion to that, something that I'd seen on Twitter from the ACLU. 51 years ago, Black trans women fought against police brutality. Last week, Tony McCade, a Black trans man, was killed by police in Florida. Black and brown trans people routinely face harassment and police violence. And Pride has always been and will always be protest. And so just so that you know that these things can sometimes marry together, we're all not just groups of people fighting for equality or groups of people making sure that their rights separate, but we do have an opportunity to come together. And so it is Pride Month, but if you have look on Gleason's site or anything else, they are groups of folks supporting one another and trying to bring unity to this country. I do want to show something because our staff had a forum for students yesterday, and it was really great to listen to student voices and to hear how students feel about what's happening in the country, how they can get involved. And I think this is important for all of us. I saw this from Deepa Ira on the following sites. You can go there. And this is a great map about our roles in a social change ecosystem. And this can be applied to lots of things. And what I love here is that we all have a role. And I've put the framework here as well. Weavers, experimenters, frontline responders, visionaries, builders, caregivers. Like, if you look at what this is, there are people who nurture and nourish the people around me, and what that looks like. There are storytellers who help tell the story. These are the people who are writing blogs, who are writing articles. There are healers who recognize and tend to people and support people, frontline responders who are right there in the crisis, experimenters who are innovative and doing things. So I just want you to know each of us has a role. If someone's saying, what do I do in the midst of this? You know, you might not be on the protest line. You might not be who is on the front line in that way, but you have a role to play in what this looks like. And so I just want to make sure it's important for us to recognize as we think about what we are doing for to support our communities, to support social change. All of us have a role, and our time is to figure out what that role is. So I want to thank the students who were able to join us, and I want you to know Mrs. Lewis was taking copious notes. As I said then, even if you weren't able to join us at that particular time, this is not the end of the conversation. It's the beginning of a conversation and the beginning to action of how we really marshal your voice as students, the voice of staff, to make sure that we continue to build the amazing King Philip community that we have, where everyone feels included in the community and they feel valued. All right. So, all right. Just want you to know that. And I wanted to kind of pass that forward. All right. As we move along, some great news. I want to say congratulations to Mrs. Paulus. She is the King Philip Middle School 2020, not multiple 20s, Teacher of the Year. So as many of you may know or may not know, I don't know, Mrs. Paulus was one of the 3 finalists for the West Hartford Public Schools Teacher of the Year. She was not chosen as one of the candidates. However, I want you to know she is King Philip Middle School's Principal of the Year. This is the second time in 4 years that we've had a finalist among the West Hartford Public Schools Teacher of the Year. 4 years ago, it was Mr. Fisher. And so he was our Teacher of the Year then. So congratulations, Mrs. Paulus. Thank you for what you do to represent the King Philip community and to be a model for to be a representative of all the great teachers in our school. Yay! Congratulations. All right, Mr. Kotler.
Okay, positive referrals. Can we go full screen? These
Yes,
don't work
yes,
like
sir. There we go. Just for you.
Okay, thank you. Yesterday, we had a panel, a virtual 6th grade panel where students shared their experiences with incoming 6th graders, and they were phenomenal. And Mrs. Wright is recognizing Fox, Kate, Max, Maya, and Parimi for participating. They were wonderful. And Fox said something that really stuck with me. He said he loved his team because it was a community, and that not to worry about coming to the middle school, that everyone will be part of a community. And I just thought that was great. Ms. Offshay is recognizing both Jacob F.A. and Ricardo B. for handing in their work on time, catching up on assignments, and just doing a great job. Ms. Martucci wants to recognize Jaden S. for working hard during distance learning. He has attended all classes. Jazz C. participating, eagerly doing all of his work. Victoria, Nahima, Jakari, and John for doing all of their work. For Ms. Martucci.
Oh, sorry.
That's right. For doing all their work with Ms. Martucci, and Ms. Colazzo certainly also sends out a shout out as a positive referral. Also, thank you.
Yay. All right, let me get back in present mode. I keep getting out of it here. There we go.
I can tell that Nehemiah is absolutely rocking it because he got positive referrals from 2 separate teachers. Well done, Nehemiah, and everybody else. Yeah.
That's what we want to do.
We also want to give some shout outs to a few staff members. So that Miss mentioned the student forum yesterday, which was certainly the beginning of some broader efforts and work we'll do at King Philip, as well as kind of a continuation of work we've done over the past several years between the GSA and the Diversity Club and different groups at King Philip, really striving for equity and justice. And I was heartened and made hopeful by the voices I heard from our students, and the thoughts and ideas. So thank you to Mrs. Lewis, Mrs. Moore, Mrs. Brown, and Mrs. Wendehack, who were officially, helping to moderate and encourage those student voices, and other teachers that were participating as well. But also thanks to Ms. Graff, Ms. Tamayo, Mrs. Wilson, Ms. Carlson for their efforts last night to help us connect even more thoroughly with our parent and caregiver community. Mr. St. Germain is like the glue that helps hold all of these things together. Yes. So thank you, Mr. St. Germain, for all of your efforts in these various, outreach efforts that we're doing during distance learning. And really, we didn't know who, we couldn't make there was not enough room on like 5 different slides to get all of our staff who are going above and beyond. They're in the office hours and they're teaching, right? And our staff are planning collaboratively to make sure that things make sense and their Google Classrooms are as good as they can be. And they're giving feedback to kids. But beyond that, so many of our teachers are meeting one-on-one with students outside of their typical hours, and they're meeting with small groups of students. It might be on Saturdays or in the evening or whenever they can, just to make sure that everybody has access to school during this really difficult time. So to all our teachers going above and beyond, and I know some of you are doing it, we don't even know about it. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. So I do want to say we did an admin shout out today because I totally forgot until yesterday that it wasn't Wednesday yesterday. Like I didn't know it was Thursday, and so I forgot to send out my email. So I'll go back on the student to staff shout out. I'm sorry, this week has been an interesting week for me. So there we go. All right, Mr. Kotler.
All right, let's end the week with some kind of a laugh, even if they're corny jokes. Let's see what you can do. How can you make 7 an even number?
Are we supposed to answer that, or is this something?
Well, you could ponder that for a second.
I can think of 2 different ways, Mr. Kotler.
Well, go ahead, Mr. Gussie.
Well, I could add 1 or subtract 1.
Oh, I would just take off the S. Well, thank you, Mr. Gussie, for that gut-wrenching laugh. And what did the lawyer wear to court?
Oh, it's supposed to be a laugh. Okay.
A suit. The lawyer always wears a suit.
A lawsuit.
Okay, got it. See?
All right.
But I'm pumped.
Have to be happy. That's all we want for everyone. Have to be happy.
Thank you, Mr. Kotler. So, I think we've announced this previously, but just a reminder, Dylan Hosmer, who's on the Sapphire team in 7th grade, I think it's the second weekend, and so not this weekend, but next weekend, he's going to be running a half marathon. Wow. I don't think I've ever run that far, and I'm, almost 40 years old. So Dylan, you go. That is awesome.
I don't even walk that far, and I'm quite older. So you're good. He
decided that he's doing that. He's like, you know what? Instead of just running to run, which feels good and it makes him feel healthy and it gives him something to do during this time beyond, his online learning. And he said, you know what? I'm going to make it even more meaningful, and I'm going to raise money to donate to the World Central Kitchen, which helps feed needy people through restaurants and helps restaurants stay afloat during really this really difficult time for folks who might be food insecure and restaurants who might be struggling too. So Dylan, that's fantastic. You can support him if you're interested. You could cheer for him as he runs, or you can also donate money to the cause which he's running. And Mrs. Moses, also Sapphire, she wants to thank everyone who supported her GoFundMe effort, and which surpassed its goal. So she visited the village in which country? Help me out. I'm sorry.
Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe. I think it's Zimbabwe. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. It was near Victoria Falls, but they're so thankful to folks that she's able to help and support.
And I love what they're doing, because they're saying we struggled with tourism. We usually rely on it, and during this pandemic, we haven't been able to do that. And Tunde became innovative to say, what can I do that's going to create something that's sustainable for our families? And I just want to point something out that to what Dylan and Mrs. Moses are doing. But here's an example of you're not, if you're not sure what to do, even in this wake of social justice, you can do something active. If you are a runner, run for a cause and maybe raise money that way. I learned about a civil rights leader who had actually, or woman who actually cooked meals to nourish those. She funded the bus boycott by cooking meals for those and funding the drivers to pick up people to go through the bus boy. She's a nourisher, right? But she also raised money. So be innovative. There are things that we can do to help support causes that we care about. All right, Mr. Gussie, let me just do this real quick. Just a reminder, counselors are offering weekly meetings. If you are a 7th grader, it's today at noon. Those have been awesome. I appreciate our counselors for offering that. And Mr. Gussie.
This is just today's overview. You all know it's period 6 through 9 on a Friday and afternoon. Great opportunity to meet with teachers as needed and finish up any of your assignments or anything that you're missing. Got a week and a half after today, really, a week and 4 days of school left. So get it done if you're behind it all. And you can start looking even to next week if you want to get ahead.
Oh, before you go, it just came to me. That civil rights worker, nourisher was Georgia Gilmore. Look her up. I'm doing this great walk with Girls Trek, and they're highlighting folks within movements who have done things to help with protest.
Georgia Gilmore.
Georgia Gilmore.
And thank you always to Ms. Ciccarello for helping support us and provide credit where credit is due. So, make it a great day. Or not.
The choice is yours. So just
be the one to make it a great one.
All right, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.